Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank the management of Elkan. They have a wonderful team. I think they deserve a round of applause. Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel, for making this possible and inviting me through Miss Kate. I'd like to thank the group of Miss Jin Hee, whom I have mistaken for a gentleman through my email. So my apologies there. It's very fortunate that I have met some old friends like Baba Cheng there. And of course, the other people who made it very, very good and smoothly. I thank you very much, and especially for the nice red tie that you gave me as a gift. So thank you very much to the Elkan team. I'm wearing it. Thank you. I was asked to give my personal clinical experiences regarding MIME. And I will make it worth your while. The 1 hour that you'll be staying here will pass by unnoticed. It will be both be fun but educational as well. And I hope that after my talk, you will take it with you and you will have more conviction in the use of MIME as I have for the past 5 years that I have been prescribing it in the more than 20 years plus of my medical practice. Okay. Please take a look at the slides that was prepared. I'd like to thank Mr. Ivan and of course Mr. Wong, who slept late last night for polishing this. And thank you very much, and even for the conversion into Chinese. Thank you. If you will give me a minute to talk about how I came to the practice of nutrition after studying for more than 10 years in the oldest and top university in the Philippines called University of Santo Tomas. Like most doctors, after graduating in 1987, I practiced for 2 years using the regular hospital synthetic medicine. Thank you for the water, sir. I understand this water is special. You cannot buy it outside. Thank you very much for this. Because I love arts, I like drawing, I paint, I was planning to go into cosmetic surgery after 1987. In fact, I spent already the next 2 years doing breast cosmetic surgery. Enlargement or augmentation or making it smaller or moving other body parts to wherever the client wants it. But I met this gentleman, the man in the middle. At that time, he was the secretary or the minister of health for our country. And at that time, he was looking for young, fresh graduate doctors who would like to make a difference in our practice. As you can understand, 20 years ago, the country is still a third world country, although we follow the American type of medicine. Therefore, many of our countrymen cannot afford the expensive procedures, the expensive medications. And this gentleman in the middle opened my eyes and said, "Hey, Dr. Bien, what are you doing right now?" I said, "I'm doing some breast surgery." And he said, "At the age of 70 is still what you want to see?" And then he asked me some questions which changed my paradigm. He told me, "What are the medications you normally give for diabetic patients?" Of course, I outlined the tablets to lower down the blood sugar, the insulin injections, and then he asked me, "Does the diabetes go away?" Thinking about it, no, it only lowers down the sugar, but the diabetes is still there. And in fact, even the complications will eventually come. He said, "What do you give for high blood pressure patients?" Well, of course, I give the one that is oral, or I put the one under the tongue, or sometimes I do injection to bring down the blood pressure. Does the blood pressure or hypertension go away permanently? Oh no. And then it came back to me that many of the medications that doctors spend a lot of years memorizing from the pharmacodynamics of it is actually to cut down on the symptoms and not to cure the root cause of the problem. That is difficult to swallow. And the last thing that he asked me, what happens to your patient after you put all those silicone under the breast? They get cancerous. So after 2 years, I dropped everything and followed him. And I was very thankful because with him, together with the other lady that you see in the picture, the lady you see on the picture, who later became a beauty queen, I think one of our first Miss International. And this gentleman ran for the Senate. He asked me, go outside of the Philippines, look for countries that are offering nutrition, and when you come back, use it as part of your treatment. I have never regretted that day. Until the present time, until last night when we are having dinner, they asked me, how come you have so much conviction when you prescribe MIME compared to the other doctors who does not believe in it? Because I know a person who has some more weapon to prevent or treat the root cause of the problem is better off than a patient who only has symptomatic treatment. And MIME plays a very big role in that. So thank you for allowing me to explain my side. Now this is the nice thing about the Philippines. 20 years ago, this senator, who was a former Secretary of Health, has only one law that was passed. And that law is in effect until now. We call it the Traditional and Alternative Medicine Law. It requires graduate doctors of the Philippines to consider in our prescription the addition of nutrition with the other medication. Sadly, not everybody follows, especially the older generations. And I believe it is true as well in Malaysia and in many other countries also. Correct? Correct. But Dr. Flavier, the name of my mentor, has some other ways to help the patients. We went into media. We went into radio broadcasting, which later on became a television show, and later on he passed away a few years ago, but I continued his legacy, going into the rounds of the media, going to different countries to talk about the law of our country on natural medicine. Now, 80% of my practice, because we have a very high incidence in the Philippines, maybe because we follow Western diet, is made up of cancer. Of the 80%, a majority of it is called malignant. That means the patient has a terminal case. When we say terminal case, normally the other doctors like to give a life sentence of about 5 years. When a person is said, oh, you only have 5 years to live, of course no one is willing to accept that, because that's painful. A person will always look for something to help them. So if you take a look at the slide, the recognized clinical management in the Philippines, as well as in the other parts of the world, is still the three things: to do the surgery, to cut it. After they cut it, they inject you or give you medication to poison the cells that they were not able to cut. And to further aggravate things, they burn it using radiation. I have nothing against it. In fact, I co-manage patients undergoing the three treatment: surgery, chemotherapy, and radiotherapy. But this is where the problem lies. Those three is aimed at killing only the cancer cells, but at the same time, it destroys the normal cells. That's why patients go bald. That's why patients lose their appetite. They get pale, they get very thin, they get very weak, and many succumb not to the cancer, but to the treatment itself. If you've heard, our very popular lady president who started the EDSA revolution, the one where we went into the street after about 20 years of dictatorship from another president, she had colon cancer. After only several sessions of chemotherapy, she said, no more. The side effects is worse than my own cancer. And she died. She died. She's got all the money. She's got all the resources. If only the doctors would have given something to improve the immune system of the person. And that is why we are lucky. Today, you're going to learn about it. You're going to see my actual cases. Patients who believed in it. And patients who are better off now than before, and better off than many of their colleagues in the hospital who have passed on and they are still living. There is a debate among doctors regarding lifespan length. Some doctors will say, okay, if I give chemo, I give radiotherapy, and I do surgery, I give patients more than 5 years. But that is 5 years of misery. That is 5 years of pain. And many of the doctors do not believe that anymore. Because what is 5 years if those years are spent in the hospital with tubes coming out of your body, attached to a machine, and then later on dying with strangers surrounding you and not even with your family members? That is not the kind of quality of life that we aim for. So right now, there are the new doctors like me that was trained by Dr. Flavier who are willing to try products that will give quality of life. That is a key word that I wish you to remember and repeat. We are not always going to promise a cure, but we can offer a QOL, a quality of life, and a scientific way to improve their health. Even with the most sophisticated instruments, surgery poses a risk. Just by cutting it, it is being spread to the bloodstream, and then before you know it, cutting one side of the breast, it exposes the other breast to metastasis or spread. There are many radiotherapy machines now. They burn it, but at the same time, the burning passes through the breast, goes through the lungs, goes through the bones. So lastly, many of the cancer medications that are labeled chemotherapy are allowed only to be recalled 2 or 3 years later and said, oh, they cause heart attacks. If you read some of the journals, a lot have been recalled because they cause heart attacks. How? They kill the heart muscles. So your heart stops beating. Crazy, isn't it? Now, in all of this, we cannot say cancer is a death warrant. No. This is where integrative medicine, some people call it natural medicine, some people call it nutritional medicine, will come into play. This is your role. Maybe some of you are doctors, maybe some of you are into nutrition, but the reason I am willing to give talks like this is because so that I can reach out to people who are exposed to 10, 20, 50, or 100 people. Some of those are suffering from terminal illnesses. Imagine, if their doctor would not allow it, then it is your role. Because you know you are giving something that is useful for that person. You all deserve a round of applause for this. Amazingly, many of my colleagues believe that this is one of my trip in the US, or I think in Europe, that our product is only to reduce pain. No. Or to give them sleep. No. Or to be at peace. They believe that what we are prescribing, although it is legal in many parts of the US and Europe, like cannabis or grass or marijuana. But science is dynamic. If you take a look at this, CAM, as you can see in the slide, means complementary and alternative medicine. That means anything that is in addition to their usual traditional prescription, if added to a patient, if you take a look at the arrow, there is an expected improve in the quality of life. And on the third arrow, or the second arrow, you see an expected boosted immune system. When we say quality of life, what do we mean? We mean the person feels more energetic. That goes away when someone has cancer. Later on, the person develops depression, cannot sleep, they have anxiety, cannot eat, and their life is miserable. Those surrounding the cancer patient, their life as well becomes miserable because he or she is irritable. When we add something to boost the immune system, the person feels energetic. The person is able to eat. The person will be able to sleep. And there is less pain. So while the other medication works its way, by boosting the immune system, there is improvement in the quality of life. So this is quality of life. And what is true now may be untrue in the future. But what is always basic when patients or people ask me, "Doctor, what do you suggest for people who suffer from chronic, degenerative, or cancer cases?" Go back to basic. Simple life means simple meal. To slow down. Our pace is too fast. To have peace of mind. Not to worry about things that we cannot change. To always be grateful. And to take something that you believe in, which you know is natural, organic, and has been researched, is evidence-based, approved by scientists all over the world. Thank you. And that is the mycelia immune modulated extract. These are the quality of life that patients suffer from according to American Cancer Society. On the right are all the symptoms. When we are able to help at least one half of it, that is quality of life. So, according to my mentor, whom I did not believe 20 years ago, the medicine of the future is really called pharmaconutrition. That means the use of nutritional medicine, whether we believe it or not now, or whether our doctors believe it or not now, together with the usual surgery, radiation, and chemotherapy, would be immunotherapy. And that is the future. And you are involved in something that is futuristic. Thank you, Elken, for that, isn't it? 20 plus years of success. Congratulations to all of you. I understand. You look wonderful in red and black. I know you are leaders. So as leaders, you are the movers of this industry. In the middle of the slide is a dark green colored called allopathic medicine. That means the